What's up, podcast? Before we start today's episode, I just want to make sure that you guys are following and subscribing all of our content at svaofamerica.com/assistance HQ. There you can find all of the latest and greatest content, podcasts, articles, and so much more. The link's going to be in the description, so make sure you don't ever miss a piece of content. It's a whole lot of assistance going on. And now, a moment from our sponsor.
Hey guys, welcome back to another wonderful episode of The Ramblings. I'm your host, Angelo Roberts Jr., and today we have another co-host, Toshima. She's a wonderful entrepreneur and works in the music industry as well as owning and just starting a social media agency. So Toshima, introduce yourself and let everyone know who you are.
Hey Ramblers, my name is Toshima, as Angelo would have mentioned just a while ago. Toshima Ellis McLeod to be exact. I'm 24 years old. Booming, I would call it. Social media marketer, one, also host. I also have a talk show currently trending live, and I am also an assistant manager for That's Trending Entertainment. That's Trending Entertainment focusing on, different levels in entertainment. So we also manage promotions. So I have a lot going on, and this also comes into an alignment with the fact that, it's just about helping others to build themselves. So my main philosophy in life is find a way to help somebody so that they can help you as well. So yeah, that's, pretty much backstory. I'm, as I said, 24 years old, grew up in Jamaica. I'm also the kind of person who is always seeking ways to assist other persons. And I believe that's how, it tied into me falling in place to be who I am right now, where I'm finding ways to help other persons. Grew up with my grandparents. Fun experience, trust me. If you have any idea what it's like to grow up with your grandparents, you'll understand, a lot of principles, a lot of ground foundation rules and all of that has been instilled from that time to now. I would also say that, I'm striving to be more than, what I have, or to be a better person as well.
Okay, that's wonderful. So, in being that, how did you get into the music industry? What's your path into, music?
Well, to be honest, I went to high school, as everybody, and I always had a passion for music, to be honest, right? So growing up, singing on the church choir, being the musical one in the family. My grandmother used to sing on the choir, so we always used to sing at home, and we also used to sing, when we go to church, we used to sing songs together. And I realized, I really can do this, and I like it. But really and truly, when I was in high school, I realized that, this is something that I actually really want to focus on. So I did the exam, music exam in back home in Jamaica.
What's the music exam? What's a music exam? I've never heard of that.
The music exam is just like how you have, your SATs and so before you matriculate to college, there's always that course that you have to do. It's called CXC in Jamaica, and I did that in music. I was also a part of the performing arts, Edna Manley Performing Arts Group, that's also in Jamaica as well. So I started my career to, perform and, be more excited or, more into the direction of entertainment. And in high school, I also was a part of the performing arts group. So, a lot of musicals, a lot of, so I realized that, deep down, I have that expressive part of me, that artistic part of me that I always wanted to, but I didn't want to sing. That's the crazy part about it. I do well at singing. I do very well at, entertainment. I'm the outspoken one. But to be honest, I didn't want to sing. So when I said I didn't want to sing, I kind of like stopped performing at events, and I was like focusing on other traditional stuff, the brick and mortar kind of lifestyle. I'm gonna get this job, I'm gonna get this money.
Right.
And I came to Connecticut, and then I look at the fact that, all these things that I've been doing has prepared me for where I am now, because I'm now the assistant manager for That's Trending Entertainment. I've now taken on the role as the host at Currently Trending Live, still an extension of That's Trending Entertainment. And, it's being able to see yourself in a different light, even though for sure entertainment is your heart,
So
So,
how does that differ for you from being as a host of a show versus being, because you still have eyes on you and you're still kind of entertaining per se.
yes.
So how would you say that, sits with you when you're hosting a show versus, performing live, like singing?
It actually, I would say, provides more structure, in the sense that, when I say provide more structure, I get to be more expressive, being performing, and then in turn become the person who's asking what it's like to perform and whatever, what's the energy that you get. I mean, it's like another diversion of it. So for me, I do enjoy, hearing other person's story. I do, I'm a very appreciative of hearing other person's story, and I wanted to take the focus from me to hear from somebody else. So that's really what happened. I realized that I'm more about helping the other person to get up, promoting the other person on a platform, to me being able to sit back, listen, ask the questions, get to know, what is this person? What's the vision behind your real reason for doing this? So it was more for that. I really wanted more out of it. I wanted to be the person in the chair versus the person on the stage holding the mic. So yeah, it was pretty much like that.
Okay. So what kind of obstacles have you come through? You've talked about being born in Jamaica and coming to Connecticut. So that in and of itself can be an obstacle, but also being in the United States as a Black woman in entrepreneurial and business and moving up the ladder, that also presents its own, kind of challenges. So what are your challenges that you've overcome and obstacles that you faced, on your path to this success?
Man, I believe the biggest challenge that I've had in life is procrastination.
I relate to that.
Listen, procrastination is a thing, and it stuck out as a sore thumb so much times, when you know for sure that there's so much more and there's so much further you could have been, and then at 25, at my age, I'm like, I really think I needed to finish this earlier than at this point, but nothing happens before the time. And procrastination kind of also gave me a lot of perspective too, because while I was procrastinating, I realized that there are some things that do take time, but how actively are you working on these things versus saying, I want to get it done. Are you really working towards getting it done? So procrastination really slowed me down. Instead of let's do it right now, I'm like dragging my foot. I'm being nonchalant. Oh yeah, I can get that tomorrow. And I overcome that when I realized that I do have a purpose here. I'm more than what I think I am. All I need to do is to tap into that next level of me. So I overcome that, to be honest. I mean, you never fully overcome it, but you come to a place where you realize that this does not work. This needs to go, because we need to get stuff done. So procrastination was one of the challenges that I had, and I wasn't easily adaptive to change. I mean, we all know change is necessary. I mean, you need change. You have to have change. And at first, I wasn't very adaptive to change. And I realized that can cause basically a step back,
Right.
So I had to become more proactive when it comes on to, okay, it's a possibility change, you need to get with it. So I had to get with the flow. You know what I mean? So those were some of the obstacles. I mean, at 24 years old, I moved out of my family home that I grew up with. I decided I wanted to take life into my own hands. I didn't want it to be lived on anyone's terms. And because of that, I saw so much different. Trust me, I saw so much different things happen to me, and I am the kind of person that's very grateful that it did happen, because if I didn't make that decision, I quit my job. So let me give you a little backstory of
You quit too?
Yeah,
What did you do
I
before?
did. So I'm 24 years old at this point. I'm just started doing network marketing because I was a network marketer. I'm still a network marketing. I do believe
we
in
have
sales.
to connect on that. I have something for that. We have to connect on that.
Oh, facts. And I was introduced to personal development. And when I was introduced to personal development, I was already looking into myself. Because a lot of persons really and truly don't know what personal development is. They think it's just being able to see life from a different angle. Really and truly, no. It's a lot more. You got to feed yourself daily on, personal development, so you can really understand that things are going to happen in life. So doing network marketing, I introduced to personal development. I'm now beginning to see myself for who I am, because this color here is an issue, and you as an individual, it does, it's kind of like, you know what, I'm not going to get that position, and I experienced that firsthand. I'm not going to get that position, but I'm working towards it. But somebody with a different color comes and they get it. You know what I mean? And
Exactly.
those were some of the things I experienced when I quit my job. I realized that the main reason why I quit my job was simply because if I spend 8 hours of my day building somebody else's dream, I honestly can use, let's say, 2 hours, 3 hours to build my dream, because we have 24 hours in the day. But I really wanted the most out of my day building my dream. I really wanted that, and I realized that I wasn't able to do that. Trust me, you're gonna go broke. When you quit your job, you're gonna go broke. You're gonna experience everything in this entire life you never experienced. I moved out of my family's house with basically a bed, and not even the full bed. I moved out with just the what you call it, the mattress.
Yeah.
Yes, I moved out, and I'm like, this is what I'm doing. I needed to be able to focus on me. I needed my time. I needed my dreams to come through. I needed my life. So I had to grab my life by the neck, pull it back in, and I'm like, yo, this is my time. And I cried a lot of tears, but those tears literally were watering. I would say I used my tears to water everything that I now have. I mean, I'm not the fully successful person I want to be, but the mindset that I have coming out of those experiences really and truly shaped me into who I am now, because I'm seeing myself acting in situations that has never been presented to me, but I was able to act accordingly based on the fact that I've had so much experience, so much life experience, that when things happen, I'm now, okay, here's what we're gonna do.
Right.
So I had to kill a part of me to become somebody else that I wanted to attract. I wanted certain type of people around me. I wanted a certain type of lifestyle, and what I was doing, I had to let that go in order to attract this type of persons that I needed in my life. So I had to really and truly do a lot of self-analyzation. And I was a party girl. I used to work hard enough to party. Trust me, all the events I'm there. And I realized that partying wasn't getting me. I partied so much of my life, and where I am supposed to be, I don't see myself. So I had to let that go. So some of the things I had to, endure was, because of the fact that I made some decisions and I had to sacrifice a lot of things for the greater good.
Yes.
So that's pretty much, some of the things. And I mean, you don't have to go in depth, but along the line, you will understand that you have to come to the realization that your life is most important. And if you wait on somebody else to live your life, you're not going to have your own life. So I had to learn those things along the line. I had to pick up the stakes, and I would consider myself a late bloomer, but I was able to act when it was time for an opportunity. I was ready for the opportunity.
Yes. That's wonderful. And we completely advocate for job quitting on this show, especially if it's something that you do.
Listen, I wouldn't say quit your job. Have a real reason why you want to quit your job. Don't quit your job because you see everybody else quit. Because I was in network marketing, and I told myself, listen, I'm going to go hard. I do not have the income that I was sure of. So I have to make sure that I presented myself for every opportunity, every meeting, and everything that was supposed to provide income for me. I have rent to pay, I have bills to pay. I had to make that a priority. So if it doesn't make sense, if it doesn't make money, if it doesn't provide income, I'm not doing that. I had to do those things. Yeah.
So what was your big plan? So, if you're like, okay, I need to know I have to have income when I'm quitting, and I know that, I have to have like my small little plan or anything. What was your one, push over the edge into quitting? And then two, what was your plan for navigating after?
My breaking point was, so let me give you the breaking point into, the decision. So my breaking point was really about, I'm tired of working hard and really not seeing the benefits of working hard. But if I work harder on myself, I'm pretty sure there would be something more valuable that I could take home from. I had a lot of powerful people around me, and having a lot of powerful people really empowered me, really set a foundation for me to move from one place in my life to another place in my life. And, that's very important, having powerful people, having, like-minded people around you. And I just made the decision. I'm saying, I can't waste any more of my life. It's either no or never. Right. And I'm going to make sure that I go hard, or I'm going to go home. And I was not prepared to go home. I didn't have that in the plan. That was nowhere, along the line. I need to get this done. It's either I'm getting things done or it's not happening.
Right.
I had to really, and I had to wake up in the mornings with this type of conversation with myself. I did a lot of that. And, it helped me. I had to be plugging in my ears audios. I had to be listening to people who I find inspiring. I had to be, connected to a source that, could move me from, because I have no clue what it's like in the real world. I grew up pretty much okay. I don't have much stress. I don't have, but I'm like, I feel like I'm going like one stream. I don't feel like, I don't think I'm in life. I don't think I'm experiencing life. And I was always curious about my own dreams. I was always curious, and curiosity is a thing. And I acted on curiosity so much, and to now I'm seeing myself, I literally think I outsmart myself sometimes. When a situation happens and I'm like, wow,
I did that.
And wow, wow, and this is my reaction, wow. And I was actually in a meeting on Sunday and finished my show. Cameras were still rolling for whatever reason, I don't know. And it kind of dawned on me that I don't know who's talking. We were just having a conversation about, growth. We were having, what's the next plan with this business, because it's not a business until it start making money. It's a hobby. And
I love that. Say that one more time.
It's not a business until it start making money. It's a hobby. And I do a lot of things from down here. I do it because, I have a passion for it. I love it. But the money part, let's get it. So I was really driven into that direction on Sunday when I had, one of my meetings. And I was talking, and I kept trying to figure out who was this talking. I don't know any other words that I'm saying, but yet still somebody else was inspired from what I was saying. They could have a conversation with me after and say, honestly, I really appreciate that you said this, because it really spoke volume of you. And, I find it that, it motivated me. And I said to myself, I heard the video afterwards, I heard the play, and I'm like, who is that? Like, that's not me. Like, I don't think I talk like that. And then right there and then it dawned on me, who have you been plugging into so that you could even inspire somebody else? What have you been listening to? What have you been feeding your thoughts on? Who have you been surrounding yourself with in order for you to even deliver like that? Because whatever you say is a reflection of what you hear. It is a reflection of who you are around.
What are you plugging? What are you listening to? What is it? Like,
Trust me, I'm audios all day. Audios all day. I'm a Bob Proctor fan. Not really a fan. I listen to Bob Proctor speaking about, how important it is to focus on changes. He talks a lot about the paradigm shift. I'm plugged into Tony Robbins. I'm plugged into Eric Thomas. I'm plugged into Les Brown. I'm plugged into reading, and I don't get to read as often as I want to. So I'm listening more audiobooks. So I'm plugged into Think and Grow Rich on a daily basis. I don't care how much times I've read that book. I'm plugged into it constantly, because there's so much things, success leaf clues. There's so much things that they have said and other successful persons. And if you're really about getting to that next level in your life, if you're really about inspiration, if you really want to become a person of value, you have to plug into persons who have value. And value speaks for itself. So I had to, really lock into it. Even when you don't want to, that's the time you need to. So I had to do a lot of that, just to make sure that I have the right mindset and I maintain the right mindset.
Wow, we listen to some of the same people. I've heard, my dad put me on to Eric Thomas years ago. I'm not a huge fan of Eric Thomas because he gets really, really loud and everything, but I still love the motivation in the content. It's extremely well. I've been listening to Gary Vee like since the beginning for a while, and that has really been my huge motivator, like push. Like after hearing Gary Vee, I then went like 1,000% hard. Who is your biggest motivator in terms of who you listen to? You mentioned Think and Grow Rich as like
Miles Monroe. Miles Monroe, and I believe why he's my biggest what would you say? He's the person I listen to the most times. He's coming from a biblical perspective. I strongly believe in the Bible. I strongly believe in the words of God. I'm a faith believer. I mean, I don't talk about hope. I don't use certain words. I eliminate certain words because they're empty. And he does a lot to breaking down the Bible, laying the laws accordingly. And I also listen to John C. Maxwell as well. He also talks about the 21 irrefutable laws of leadership. And I think that's one of the things that I look forward to. Being that leader, being that person of value, being that person that I want to attract. I have to, in order to attract somebody, it has to have something similar. So I wanted to have so much value that somebody else of more value could be attracted to me. So I'm as I said, I do a lot of personal development. That's on a daily basis. And those are some of the people I listen to. And I can, we could tag this later on. John C. Maxwell, one of the most powerful books would have been The 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. There's also another one. I read that book earlier, in 2019, How to Win Friends and Influence People by Earl Nightingale. And another powerful person, I must say, from my network marketing circle would have been Johnny Wimbrey. Powerful person. I've listened to so much things that I've now seen myself put into action. And you do it unconsciously, like you don't even realize. That's when you're so connected, whatever you're connected to, it's you have to have it reflected in your daily life. You're gonna see it come up somewhere. You're gonna hear yourself having conversations and you're like, who is that? So those are some of the things I stay connected to. I eliminate a lot of conversations. I eliminate a lot of things that I don't find valuable. It's not a case where it happens overnight. It won't. But if you're successful, if you're success oriented, if you're a person that wants more out of life, if you believe in having more than what you have now, you need to stay connected. If you want to see your life fall exactly the way you plan it, and I've never been a person to write down things. And a friend of mine, Siobhan, she called me one day and she said to me, we're going to the beach and we're going to sit down and we're going to write our goals. I'm like, okay, I'm that type of person. It sounds right. Let's do it.
Right.
And I never had any friend like that who would say, let's sit. So I consider her as my accountability partner. And she said, we're going to go and we're going to sit down and write our goals. I'm like, okay. We didn't make it for the day we planned, but then we made it for another day.
Right.
And I prayed. I pray a lot. I pray every morning. And I prayed before I went and I said, I don't know what I'm writing, God, but I'm going to write. So whatever you want me to write, whatever plans you have for my life, I'm trusting that you're going to just put it in the writing. When I'm writing, you just, go ahead and write with me. And I did that. And I'm going to say to you, that's something that until this very day, I don't think I'll ever get over the impact that it made on my life.
So do you now do a daily writing or anything?
I honestly don't do a daily writing because there's still goals that are left to fulfill. You know what I mean? But I write down everything possible. That's very important. Trust. I mean, I'm using my tablet, but I have a book. I have a book that I use. I have my notepad everywhere I go. I have a bag and I put my stuff. As soon as an idea pops up, I'm writing it down.
Right there.
Right there. And I mean, I planned specific things and I wrote a goal as well, when I want to get this by. And I am telling you, I just saw it happen. I'm living my life. I'm living my life. I'm doing exactly, some things that I want to get done, whatever. But these goals that I wrote down, these plans that I made for my future, because they're future plans, I'm seeing them falling in alignment. And I'm doing everything in alignment without knowing that, I remember you wrote, and then one day it hit me and like, you remember you wrote this down? Do you remember? And I had to go back, grab that book, because I had finished that book. Right. I had to go back, grab that book and look at it. And I had to pick up my phone and I had to call her and I said, what is it about sitting down and writing? And I had to do a whole research. How powerful is writing down things? How effective it is on your life? How impactful it is. And I realized that I'm a testimony of that. So when I meet people, I tell them, I say, anything you're about to tell me, and it's a plan for your life, write it down.
I love that. I've got that advice from my dad. And as a kid, like, especially growing up with technology, you don't really understand it because we're used to typing and texting everything. And it's like, well, why do I can type it up. Like, I can just type it
Right.
So one day I was at work and I got my notebook that I was working, and I just started writing down some goals that I was going to do. And now here we are 2 notebooks later. And like you said, I start to see everything falling into place. It's like,
it's powerful.
It's extremely powerful.
It is. I mean, and there's one thing that, I kind of touched on it earlier, talking about how to become somebody valuable so that, you can be of value to someone else. And I have a team now of persons that I'm working with through That's Trending Entertainment. I'm seeing a lot of stuff that I never thought was going to happen, but it had to happen based on the plans I had for my life. And being able to, I'm just going to be a little bit repetitive. Being able to apply previous experience and being able to see an opportunity for what it is and act, and being able to act accordingly because you're ready, is something I find very powerful. I now have a team, and as I mentioned, I never imagined that I would have a team right now. I know I'm gonna have a team, but not right now. And I find Sunday that's what day was that? Let me tell you the day, because I still
31st.
find that day very, very powerful. I find that the type of people that and these persons were even persons that, I need to reach out to this person and try to see if this person would do something like this. This is the type of people I want. That did not happen. I had this is the type of person conversation with myself and my team member that Dre, big up Dre, because Dre has been an amazing person, a blessing literally, I would say, as it relates to, forming certain things and making a lot of things come through That's Trending Entertainment and, to my platform as well, currently Trending Live. I can literally look to the left and I know he'll be there to, no, we need to get this right now. You know what I mean? So have that type of people around you is something that I really find that drives, success or anything to come to fruition. And I was there and I'm like, I do need some persons to do the show. I need co-hosts. And I just got a call and he's like, hey, I sent you a link. I sent you somebody. They want to be a part of the team. You got to do your own vetting. You got to look to see if this person, what this person's about. What does this person really have an ulterior motive? You do that. But there's something about that gut feeling that you get. And when you know. A lot of the things that we worry about are the things that we really should not be worried about. You should try to search yourself to find out, what's the feeling that I get when I hear about this? What's the feeling I get when I mention this topic? Right. And then you make your decision right there and then. And that's literally what happened when I got the message, when I looked at the person, and when I you can see somebody before you have a conversation with them, and you can really and truly, there's a lot of things you're not going to fully know, but there's a lot that comes out in the person's aura. It comes out, by presentation. And I literally got that feeling. So I was able to move from one space and trust, trust that they got this, to move on to do some other business. So, that making that decision, being able to align yourself, being able to be ready for, whatever opportunity that presents itself is something that, I believe we all need to do. Make sure you're ready. Don't let an opportunity present itself and you're not ready.
Oh my gosh, yes. That is I think the biggest thing. My dad used to say previous planning prevents poor performance. So
Facts.
you're gonna want
And to add to that, if you fail to plan, you already plan to fail. So that's another thing that I learned as well.
yeah. That's
Yeah.
definitely a lot. And we thank you. I know you have an 11 o'clock meeting to get to.
Oh no, don't worry about my 11 o'clock. My 11 o'clock is good.
No.
It's with the team. They got it.
Okay, no problem. Okay, so what would you say, you've seen these things fall into place. You've gotten, let's just say, the actions down. You've kicked the procrastination, even if you haven't fully. I know I haven't fully kicked my procrastination.
Right. You don't ever fully.
What is your routine? Everyone has their own day-to-day things, and a lot of people, they understand that everyone has the same 24 hours, but they don't understand what people necessarily do in their 24 hours, because we see, all of these successful people running their teams, and they have their days are basically just filled with a bunch of meetings, it looks like.
Yeah.
So for the people at our level, how would you describe, your daily routine kind of? What would you say your daily day is like?
My day starts somewhat sometimes from the day before because of how our heads work. Oh, I got to do this tomorrow. But in all honesty, I wake up with prayer. I wake up with a certain level of excitement because there's so much that I need to get done. My alarm don't wake me anymore. That's a thing. I wake up before my alarm and I'm like, stop, I don't need you. But I have it there just in case, I wake up every morning with prayer, as I mentioned. I plan my day. From this time to this time, this is what I'm doing. Before I even plan my day, I normally go into my affirmations. I go into my affirmations. I speak to myself on a daily basis every morning. That's a thing. I remind myself. I don't even want to say remind because these are things you already know, but you have to affirming yourself. Provide yourself with that confidence. You are an amazing person. You are the greatest. The entire universe is waiting for what you have inside. Do not go to sleep on your dreams. Do not let opportunities pass you. Things like that. I speak to myself in the mornings. Call me crazy, but that's what I do. And another thing that I do, so after I do my affirmations, and these affirmations are affirmations that I wrote down. As life progresses, as your days move from one space to another, you actually start to, add more things.
Right.
But those are some of the things I do. And I do a 15 minutes. So I pray, read my Bible. Sorry, I missed that. Pray, read my Bible. And I do that in 30 minutes. Everything I do for 30 minutes. Time yourself. Do not think you got to do it the entire day. No. Take your time, read for understanding, and just proceed. So 30 minutes interval for everything. And I deliberately don't try my best not to use my phone during my personal development time. I don't use my phone for this period because this period is set apart for personal development. Afterwards, I move into my audios, or I'll turn on the TV. YouTube. I find something inspirational, something to start my day, something as a motivator. I mean, you're not trying to find motivation in somebody else because you really need to motivate yourself firstly, but you find something that helps you to become valuable. Right. Another thing that I believe is very, very helpful is, let's say you have a passion for fashion. How how much times throughout the week, let's put it on a weekly basis, do you even do any research on fashion? Do you any look into fashion? Do you at any point in time do anything at all in related to something that you have a passion for? We don't. When you have spare time, you do that. No, I need to make this a priority. This is something that I want out of my life. This is something that I want. I'm going to get it done. We don't do that, So I set time apart to do things that I'm focused on. I want real estate. So I set time apart for things that I'm focusing on. So today I'm focusing on real estate. Tomorrow I'm focusing on, entertainment. So stuff like those, I add them into my day. And when I get free time, I'm plugged into something, listening to an audiobook. I'm listening to, let's say a quote or stuff like that. So that's the thing. And then afterwards, I think about my music. Trust me. So I wake up in the morning, plan my day, do my affirmations. Do my affirmations first, plan my day. And throughout my day, I'm listening to something that will add value to me so I can become valuable for someone.
What advice? We're gonna switch gears a little bit. We've now built like a foundation of you, your criteria, who you are and your qualifications.
Right.
So for the people that are trying to get to your point, that are like, okay, I've now just written down my affirmation. They might be listening to this and they're like, you know what? I'm gonna write down my goals right now. And they're now going to start working towards whatever they're gonna do. What would be your, I guess, number one advice for the aspiring entrepreneurs or the aspiring business owners or the people aiming to make it in the music industry? What is your star advice for them?
My star advice would be decide where you fit in. Decide where you fit in firstly, because you don't want to be all over the place. You want to have a clear path on what is it that you're focusing on, which aspect of your life you want to focus on, you want to capitalize on the most, which aspect of entertainment, which aspect of your career, whatever path that you're striving towards. Make sure you have a clear vision of exactly what is it that you need to get there. I find that as something that vision clarifies your life. It clarifies, it simplifies everything. You know what you're not supposed to do, what you're supposed to do. It just creates a road for you, And I tell that to everybody. I said, find ways to add value to yourself, because people pay big money for value.
Big money.
You know what I mean? Once you have something of value, if it costs an iPhone, for example, why would they sell an iPhone for $1,200?
It's value. You can buy it.
And how much persons are buying? That's one of the first $1 trillion companies. Think about it. Value. Why would they purchase another phone over this phone that has this ratings? 1, 2, it has so much features that you could use, plan your day better. Think about it.
Branding.
Exactly. That's exactly where I'm going. Brand yourself into the individual that you want to become. Brand yourself along the line for the road that you're about to go on. Get excited for no real reason. Get excited about it, because excitement leads to momentum. It leads to momentum, and it keeps that energy flowing. So I would say, to condense my words, I would say make a plan for the direction you want to go. Have a clear vision of where you're going. 3, add value to yourself daily. It's not gonna happen overnight. You're not gonna be this movie star that you want to be tomorrow. But what have you been doing to add something to yourself that when you become, or when the opportunity presents itself, you're ready? another thing I would say is don't be afraid to share your story. Don't be afraid to connect with people. Don't be afraid to be different than everybody else. Don't be afraid. You have a vision, you have a goal. Do not be afraid to become that goal. Let that goal come to actualization. Let that plan work out. Do not be afraid. You know, that's something I tell my people around me. I said, listen, whatever you want, do it. Get it done. Because at the end of the day, all is going to happen is if you don't get it done, it's going to continue to haunt you. Do you want things to haunt you, or do you actually want things to come to fruition and you can actually move from one place in your life to another place in your life? You know, so I mean, I guess it's a lot of advices I would give. But when it comes on to entertainment, I as I said before, you know, is find ways. Do not be afraid to research. Do not be afraid to research.
That's a big one.
Anything that you listen. The internet is so accessible. So accessible. Everybody in this entire world in 21st century has a smartphone. If you don't, you don't, but you can get access to a smartphone. You can get access to the internet. Let YouTube be your teacher. I mean, and you find people that have like mind. Find people who are in the entertainment industry that has more experience, that are along the same, have the same type of success that you want. In other words, find those people, surround yourself with those people, learn. Do not be afraid to be a student. Don't be afraid. So the biggest advice I would actually give to anyone that, you know, is aspiring to be more, getting more out of life, is be a student firstly. Be teachable, coachable, trainable, and you're good. Find someone also that has the same type of success that you want and get close to them.
This has been
Pick a mentor.
Such a great podcast. Like, you have dropped so much knowledge, and I'm sure you as of right now are you're going to bring value to lots of people. Because this is, I'm going to have to chop this up to get a lot of like these snippets, because you're like, I don't know if you've ever listened to an episode, but some of the things that, you know, we talk about and some of the things that I align with my followers and what I try to preach, if you will, are like damn near 100% along the lines of everything that you've been talking about today. From making sure you have your plan to quit to writing everything, it is bringing value. And I think that one of the big things is that as I call it, get into the game of whatever it is that you're trying to do, because you have your life that you're living. And then once you take whatever career path that you do seriously, you start now meeting other people in that career path. You start seeing successful people. You start going to maybe meetings and networking events that have to do with people in your industry. And then you really start to see, if you know, like you said, if you're a student of the game and you're learning from all of these, you know, higher people, you start to really see what can match up. Like, hey, all of these people that are successful are saying, you know, these things, and each person has said this thing, you know, they all have said, be a student of the game. So I really love the value that you're bringing right now.
You know, thank you so much. As I said, you know, you just have to, you know, it's very important that everybody have, you know, a mindset, but develop an above average mindset. Just develop it. And at some point in time, you're going to find that you want more. Nothing is wrong if you have a career in marketing, but you also want a career in, you know, something else. Nothing is wrong if you have multi-passion. Nothing is wrong. The greatest thing about it is that how hard are you willing to work on this passion that you have? Having that mindset is actually going to, you know, program you for the next step. You automatically become prepared without even realizing, because you're plugged into the source. So, you know, that helps.
Definitely always does. I'm gonna have to have you back on the podcast for another episode. Updates, talking about what you have going on, see how the social media agency is. And I don't say everyone should come back. Unless I actually say you should come back,
Yes, I get
I don't
you.
always, but I definitely would have to have you come back for updates, maybe be a regular co-host at some point. Not like regular, but a reoccurring kind of person, because
I get you.
loving the insight that you're bringing.
Thank
That's
you.
about the time that we have right now. So we very much appreciate everyone here on the Ramblers' behalf that's going to be listening to the episode. We thank you so much for coming. This is your time to do, I guess, a shameless promotion, whatever it is you want to talk about real quick. Advertise something. You have anything coming out? Do you want to?
Definitely. Always on the move. Always on the move. All right. So I would love everyone to, follow me on social media. It's TO_Shima on Instagram. I also have my business as well on Instagram. It's Build Your Dream 101 on Instagram. And my business, my biggest business, that's my baby. It's currently trending live. So it's currently _trending_live on Instagram. And that's trending entertainment on Instagram as well. That's DATZ as in zebra _trending on Instagram. And on YouTube as well, our content, our interviews are also posted on Instagram, on YouTube, I should say, and that's also at That's Trending. So please make sure you follow me on all socials. Please make sure that, you stay locked in and tuned in to, a lot of things to come. A lot of directions with the business, a lot of, insights, a lot of value on a daily basis that we're looking forward to provide to, other persons. We're looking forward to expanding so much. We're looking forward to a merch line as well. So, you guys can get your branded shirts, and so be supportive of, your fellow Black people. Be supportive of, whoever it is that you have in your organization, whoever it is that you have to, audience, whoever it is, find a way to add value so that you can impart that value to a lot of persons. So that's basically it. Please make sure that you stay tuned. So if you have a business that you want to promote, or interview segment on Currently Trending Live, will feature that. If you want to showcase your talent, whether you're a recording artist, whether you are a DJ, whether you are a hair technician, a makeup artist, whatever talent you wish to promote, please make sure that you get in contact with whether myself, Tashima, that's TO_Shima on Instagram, or you can meet up with That's Trending as well, and it's also That's Trending on Instagram as well. But yeah.
All right, that's wonderful. That's a wrap for us, guys. Thank you so much for coming.
Awesome.
Her links will be in the bio, so check her out. Toshima, thank you for coming. Ramblers, I'll talk to you later.
Hey Ramblers, before you go, make sure you're following us on social media at Assistance HQ across the board for all content and exclusives. And for an even more personal touch, subscribe to our weekly newsletter with the link in the description.